What's good, everybody? Um, with so many negative influences in mainstream media and in real life as well, it takes a lot of strength and it takes a lot of willpower to stay on that righteous, positive, um, decent, ordinary lifestyle, and not to be drawn by the negative influences in mainstream media and in real life, and basically go into a life of destruction. Um, as a young black man, maybe you're either in middle school, high school, college bound, college maybe. Um, you really there's barely any type of black male influence, positive black male influence, I should say, in the media. For the most part, it's just nothing but negative, negative, negative. Even if it is a positive, maybe a positive image, black male image, excuse me, eventually it'll transform into a negative image. Like I remember when I was in I think high school or middle school, I didn't feel any type of when I was watching TV, I guess, and when you see some of the black men on TV, I guess, I didn't feel any type of hey, I want to be like this person when I grow up, or I want to be like this person when I grow up. I didn't feel any of that. Like it seemed like the ideal black man, excuse me, was a hyper masculine, oversexed, self-destructive, out of control freak of nature. Like for the most part, that seemed like that was the ideal black male. And what's kind of sad about it is that a lot of people brought into that black male image. That's what it seemed like. That's what the ideal black male is. He's like the alpha male. Um, and if you're a black dude who who has, I guess, a lot of intellect or try to make the right choice, right decisions, stay out of trouble. You're a beta male, and it's kind of weird to say the least. But for the most part, when it comes to young black men, it's like we really don't get a lot of motivation from the black community or from society in general. It's like either the motivation comes from a negative standpoint, and that kind of gives us fuel, or the motivation comes from within. It's like we have to pull out motivation and inside ourselves to try to better ourselves. I mean, it's kind of weird. It's like one minute they want black men, young black men, to step up and stop being boys and start being men and start taking care of our responsibilities and start making better choices and um, start acting like men and blah blah blah. But then when we do, then the next minute it's like we're corny, we're lame, we're too passive, we're soft, we're weak, we're lame, we're a beta male, and all that good stuff. It's like you can't win for losing. It's like if you do this, then you get attacked. If you do that, you get attacked. So it's like you can't win. I mean, it's like you cannot win. It's like young black men do not have any type of support from the black community unless you're acting up, unless you've been in jail or if you've been in prison. Then the black community will look at you as if you're like some sort of a hero. Now, that's not to knock brothers who was falsely accused of a crime they didn't commit and then they end up in prison. That's not an attack on those brothers. Just the ones that know they wild out, that know they did bad stuff, but they just don't care. But they're a hero. Meanwhile, the young brothers that try to stay out of trouble, try to help the black community, try to call out some of the stuff in the black community that needs to change. They're looked at as some sort of they're like public enemy number one or two or something like that. Honestly, a lot of young positive brothers just don't get any love. They're underappreciated, underrated, um, swept under the rug by the black community and in society too. Well, I don't know about society. Well, maybe society too, but for the most part, a lot of young black men, honestly, what the black community tells us sometimes is act this way, act out of pocket, act out of control, act a certain way, and we will love you. If you act this way, if you act not typical, then we will shun you. We will disconnect from you. And that's how I feel. I know. I mean, I feel like that sometimes. I mean, it's like, why is it a problem for young black men to read? Like, why is it a problem for young black men to smart choices, or to try to get some knowledge, or to try to get some intellect, or to try to get some wisdom? Like, why is it a problem for young black men to to not act a certain way, to actually act as if he has some common sense, or act like he has some knowledge? I mean, like, why? Like, why? I mean, honestly, there are times where I feel like I'm not even a part of the black community. Like, there are times where I feel like honestly, I really didn't feel like I was a part of the black community ever in my life. It's like I felt like how can I put it? I felt like how can I put this? I'm looking for that word. Like a visitor, I should say. I felt like a visitor. I just felt like a visitor. I felt like I never was a part of the black community. I don't know if, other young black men feel the same way I did, but I mean, that's how I felt for a while. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that I still don't care about, some of the issues that go on in the black community. But honestly, sometimes I just feel like I feel disconnected altogether. And that's just how I feel sometimes, on the real. So, for the most part, a lot of young black men who try to do the right thing, it's tough. It's a hard knock life, and that's just real talk. So anyway, you guys take it easy, and enjoy the rest of your day. You guys stay blessed. All right, later. Peace.